Botany Manor is a game about plants and a woman named Lady Arabella Green who studies them. Just recently released, I've been eagerly awaiting it for the past year and picked it up immediately. I was so excited that I even pre-ordered my own herbarium based on the one in the game, and I can't wait to fill it with my own sketches and information about plants in my own garden. When I first saw Botany Manor in last June's Wholesome Direct, I was immediately intrigued and played the demo right away. The demo reminded me so much of my favorite Street Pass game on the 3DS, Flower Town. Obviously, much more expansive and with a story to explore as well, but similar. I loved figuring out how to get different flowers to grow in Flower Town, and had a pretty impressive garden after years of playing. Not to mention that I love growing plants in reality too. So, needless to say, Botany Manor feels like it was made specifically for me. Well, maybe if there was also a cat you were constantly trying to dissuade from eating all the plants. Botany Manor falls into the category of Zen puzzle games, a genre that has quickly become one of my favorites, and I'll be making a whole video about soon. The premise is simple. Each of these rare plants has unique conditions to make them bloom, and you have to figure out what those conditions are by finding clues around the manor. The puzzles aren't too difficult to start off with, and all the clues are there for you to find, so there's no guesswork involved, but implementing them in just the right way can take a few tries. Meanwhile, there are no penalties for getting it wrong, other than maybe walking a bit more to gather supplies again, which I really appreciate. And nothing beats that feeling of satisfaction when you do finally figure it out. For me, one of the big challenges is remembering pieces of information to solve the puzzle. By the time I got to the point of applying the clues, I'd often forget the specifics and have to go find the clues again. Sorry, my short-term memory is completely shot. And that's one thing I do think could be improved on in the game. You track the clues in your notebook, but the game just writes the title of the clue and where you found it. If you need to actually read the note or look at the photograph or what have you, you have to go back and find it in the world. Which, again, with my faulty memory, caused a lot more wandering than it really should have. So, one big quality of life improvement for me would be being able to click on the clues in your journal and review them right there. Alongside plants and their puzzles, you discover Lady Arabella's story. Although she's interested in the scientific study of plants, and has obviously already made a number of important discoveries by the time of the game, the 1890s setting means she has often been kept out of more serious spaces of study due to her gender. Despite the exclusions, and honestly rudeness of the men excluding her, she doesn't let this stop her. It is the basis for why all the plants are grown at Botany Manor, but also provides a story for her that we can care about. I definitely want to see her make an earth-shattering discovery and shove it in the men's faces. I also found this particular topic compelling because gardening and flowers were, and still largely are, seen as a woman's hobby, as numerous letters in the game point out. But as soon as it becomes a serious study, only men are expected to be prominent. This has happened with so many things in society, and it happening to Lady Arabella is frustrating, but not surprising. So I definitely liked seeing where that story went. Now, let's talk about one thing a lot of people care about: value for cost. I finished my first run of the game in about 3.5 hours, and I'm not a fast puzzler. I unfortunately also don't see much replayability in the game other than to get all the achievements and to decorate a little. And you get most of them through natural progression of the game, so finishing the few achievements left is definitely doable and motivation to play again. But because of the length of the game and new playthroughs not adding anything new, like new ways to solve the puzzles, I think the price point of $25 might be a little high for some people. And I say might because, honestly, I know I'm an outlier, but I would rather spend a little more supporting an indie developer making a great, albeit short, game. But with that information, you can make your own decisions. If you decide the base price is too much, it is absolutely worth getting on sale. I, however, really enjoyed the game and feel like my money was well spent. It was a relaxing experience, and I loved the satisfaction of solving all the puzzles. Like I've said, I'm not great at puzzles, and I did have to use a guide once because I definitely did miss something major. But they were good brain ticklers without being impossible. So Botany Manor gets a big thumbs up from me, with a little room for improvement. I primarily played this on my PC so I could record for the review, but I also played on my Steam Deck. It plays well on both, with just a few minor frame drops on the latter, and the controls on the Steam Deck are very intuitive. The game doesn't support Steam Cloud saves at this moment, so I had to start a new save for my deck, but I've already asked about that and received a reply that they're looking into it. So hopefully, for those like me who like to flip between the two, that will come soon. Overall, I really enjoyed this game, and I think anyone who enjoys calm puzzles will too. It's relaxing without much tedium, something that not all puzzle games can get right. I enjoyed the story and seeing the different flowers that bloomed, and will definitely be going back to decorate the whole manor with plenty more now that I've finished. While some may find the price point a little high for the length of the game, I do think it's worth it for the quality and support of indie devs. But whether you get it now or wait for a sale, I definitely think it's worth playing. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leaving a like and a comment go a long way in helping this channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe to see more relaxing game content here. Have a wonderful, magical day.